What's going on, guys? Scott Rodeo Gaming here with another review of a train simulator. If you did not see the previous video where I did this, I reviewed Train Simulator 2022, and my goal is to find out if the train physics in this game are realistic. If you do not know, I'm a former UP conductor. I have some experience running trains. I'm not claiming to be an engineer or an expert, but I do have some experience and I do understand the basics. And what I'm looking for is what is the best train simulator game that has the most realistic physics. So I'm going to put it through a few tests. If you want to see my video on Train Simulator 2022, look for that. I'll probably put it up here to the right of the video. But for now, let's get started. So this is a custom route I made. This area is depicting Tehachapi or Central California. What I have here is an empty coal train. So what I'm going to do is we are going downhill on a pretty steep grade, 2.73%, and we're going to pick up speed. And the first test I'm going to go through is I'm going to put on the independent brake all the way, 100% independent brake. Now what this would cause in real life is a pretty catastrophic derailment. So independent brakes are very strong on the locomotives. They are the air brakes for just the locomotives themselves. So these brake pads right here, very strong brakes. Okay, now these cars will be free rolling. There'll be no automatic brake applied, so no air to the train. So what will this will cause, especially on a steep grade like this, is the locomotives to slow down very quickly, and these cars will be free rolling. So it will cause the whole train to run in very quickly, and then these locomotives will be stopping. So basically the locomotive forces will be going to the left, the train will be coming to the right, and there'll be a massive in-train explosion of forces basically right here. So it'd be like, I guess, if you were to just pull a rubber band until it breaks, all of a sudden it's going to snap back and something's going to give, and it's going to be powerful. So without further ado, let's get going. So I'm going to throttle up, knock these brakes off, take this off pause, get this party started. So to put things in perspective, I've had an engineer at about 5 miles an hour put on the independent brake, not even fully, but at 5 miles an hour coming down a grade just like this, and it literally almost put me into the windshield. Okay, so think about that. 5 miles an hour, it had that amount of force to do that. And what was that? That was this coming in to the right, the locomotive slowing down. It causes that impact right there, which then shoots everything forward violently. So we'll get up to about, I don't know, 45, because I don't want to leave any doubts that if this game had some realistic physics in this way, that it would cause this. So we're picking up speed, nice and steady. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. I plan on doing more of these with different games if I can. If you have any recommendations, leave a comment. And yeah, this is a game I've played a lot of. My goal is not to criticize you or the producers of this game itself. My goal is to see if it is an accurate representation of running a train, hence why it's a train simulator. Alright, so now we're up to speed. And let's slam these babies on. Wham! Okay, they're full blown. So, by now, this would have already happened. It happens very quickly. And I'm not seeing nothing. So, first red flag is, yeah, this. This should have, we should have gone on the ground, or there should have been at least a violent run-in slack, which would then kick these locomotives forward violently. And We didn't see anything like that. What we are seeing is that it is coming down. So it's basically acting as a third brake to slow this train down. So, first red flag. Let's test some other stuff. Let's knock these off. Let it pick up some speed. And then we will go into full dynamics, which will cause the same in-train force effect, just not as severe. Because you gotta understand, the brake pad going straight to the wheel is much more powerful than the dynamics, where basically the dynamics is a force field that is generated around the axle of each of these 6 axles, and it causes it to slow down. So it's not as powerful. So we'll pick up some speed. Pretty crazy how the dynamics and even the power works. There's nothing physical propelling the wheel forward or creating resistance to get it when it comes to putting in the power and dynamics. It's all an invisible force field that's generated. It, you know, to me that's always been pretty incredible to think about. Oh, we'll get it going to like 40 again, and then we'll go full dynies. And yeah, I expect the same result, but hey, we gotta try it. So this is my western desert part of the map. This is my custom route. I basically themed all the things I like. So I'll give you a tour of that once we're done here. Alright, so we're almost 45. We're on a pretty good downgrade. So let's throttle off. One thing I don't like about this game is how you have to put the dynamics all the way forward and then you gotta go full power again. Be nice if they made a realistic control to where the dynamics were dynamics and the power was power. Alright, so we're full dynies. Not hearing nothing. Not seeing nothing. No. That's a shame. That would be my second red flag. We are slowing down. Probably, I'd say the dynamics are pretty realistic. Wheel slip? Yeah, we'd probably get some wheel slip. I like that. So, the dynamics don't seem to be too strong or too weak. And we are getting wheel slip. Because you would slide from this thing, from the train kicking you, from the locomotive slowing down too quickly, you would start sliding. So maybe that's what we're seeing. I don't know. I'll set some air because we did this. So I like the wheel slip. It's a good sign. So the in-train forces fail, but the dynamics and the wheel slip, yeah, I'll give it a pass. Here's my second train. I'm gonna see if we can break it in half. We're gonna get it going. We'll get the train stretched out, if there's such a thing on this game. We'll get it going, and then I'm gonna go to full throttle and see if we can break it. See if we get wheel slip. So, real quick, I'd like to point out that these 5 locomotives I custom skinned myself. So if you would like these, send me a comment. Maybe I could send you the file. I've tried to put them on the download station, but it seems to it's real finicky. So I don't know if they made it on there or not. Nice little catachrome. I use real pictures to put on the side of these. That's why it looks decent at least. So that's cool. Same thing with this tunnel motor. There's a real picture of a tunnel motor from the side that I put on there. SD40R is what this is supposed to be. Kind of blurry, but hey, whatever. SD40M, same thing. This one's my favorite. This one probably looks the best. So, I have many more models, which you'll probably end up seeing at some point. Without further ado, let's go. Put it forward. Put it in run 1. This is a loaded coal train. Pretty heavy. See if it tells us exactly how heavy. Wow. Wheel slip already. We're not even on the grade. Probably not too much. 7,500 tons. Alright, well, let's bring it back down. So in run 1 on flat ground, if anything, it just wouldn't pull it. It'd probably be trying to. These are DC units though, so definitely get more wheel slip than the more modern AC units. Put some sand down. I'm gonna put a light set on it. Put it in run 1. Let it kind of build up a little bit. Alright, you can see it pulling. And wheel slip already. I don't know about that. Might not be able to use this. Kind of overkill. So, let's see. Put another unit on it. I made some custom Durango in Rio Grande power too. This one, it kind of turned out, supposed to be an SD45. Obviously, they didn't have this model of SD45. Let's try this one more time. Sometimes you need a lot of power with these things. Doesn't look too bad. Definitely need to color in the rest of the unit with that same shade. Okay, let's try this again. So we got sand on. Just give it a little juice. So one thing I have noticed about this game is there is some slack. As you can see, it's pulling on it. You know, we're getting wheel slip. Once we get the whole train. I think we got it all now. Yeah. You can kind of tell when it's the train's all the way stretched out, just starts rolling really smooth. So that's a plus with this game. There's actually some slack. Not as much slack as I'd like, but hey, it's a game. Start throttling up. Alright, now I'm gonna rip it. Even though there's wheel slip, it's on flat ground, so it's still gonna continue to go forward. So here we go. Full throttle. Okay. Alright, so we're getting going now. Even with, let's say, the wheel slip going on right now, if I were to go full throttle like this, it still would have broken this thing in half. These knuckles can only handle so much. They got high strength knuckles on cold cars, but still, it would have broken this thing, no problem. It's very easy to break a train in half. You know, I've seen engineers do it. I've had an engineer break a train in half on me at 5 miles an hour as we're coming to a stop. So that'll give you an idea. It is very, very easy. I'd have to give it a fail on that. I guess we'll just let this thing go. And, yeah. Interested to see how this amount of power does with this amount of weight. See if it's an accurate. It's got accurate physics for going up a grade with weight. Got 6 units, 7,500 tons. Probably be how many units it would take of these older SD40s and SD45s. No, not bad, not bad. So we've tried the major things. which is good. Now, one more thing I will check is, do you want to see how much slack? I could see a little bit of slack, but we're going to watch from back here, and I'm going to pull this train forward while that other train goes up grade. Technically, this train should be bunched. Okay, there's a little bit of slack. I like that. See how it kind of stopped, and now it's pulling again. It's starting to pull. So what's going on here is the slack ran out. Okay, so now the whole train is stretched out. So all the slack all the way to the end of the train is now stretched out. I like that. That's realistic. It's not as much as I would like to see, but it's there. So that's good to see. See, now we're cooking because we're stretched out. We got the whole train. Now let's do the opposite. Let's go into dynamics and see if it bunches up. Now I really wanted to see this from this perspective. Before I was checking to see if it would cause a derailment from the head end. Now I just want to see the in-train forces, if there are any. Okay. So that time, not too impressed. Since we were stretched out, as soon as we knocked off those, or sorry, as soon as we throttled up and then went into dynamics, it should have bunched back up going forward to the right. I didn't really see that. Hurt a little bit, so yeah, I mean, there's some things there and there's a lot of things that aren't so far, so it is what it is. Alright, so this thing spun out. Now we're going back downhill. So in my opinion, a little bit too much wheel slip. I could see it slipping like it did if we were starting on the grade. 100% that could happen. But starting on flat ground like this, you know, 7,500 tons, 6 units, that's pretty adequate amount. I could see that with 4, maybe 5, just not having enough juice in general. But, yeah, not impressed when it came to that. Do like the air brakes, so this gave us a chance to check out the air brakes, the automatic. And, you know, if we were to put on a real heavy set like that, yeah, I can see you stopping that amount of time. Alright, what else can we do, fellas? One thing I'd like to check, how fast the air recovers, and for that we'll go to the other side of the map. So this is supposed to be like an old 50s town, kind of in the desert or dry grass regions of Central California. Got stockyards, grain elevators, oil. I just like the different themes, you know. It's supposed to be like a Tehachapi, Central California, kind of what it's supposed to depict. Up here we got Bavaria, Germany. Been there, loved it, great architecture. So this is what that's supposed to depict. Cobblestone. Down here we got Scotland, my favorite place on the planet. This is supposed to depict Scotland. This was fun to make. Castles, cobblestone, all that good stuff. Got a helper set up here in case we need it. This side has about a 3% grade, 3.5% grade. Going down. So, then once we drop down, this is supposed to depict the East Coast. Never been to the East Coast. Would love to go. Love the pictures of the Smoky Mountains in the fall. So I just tried to recreate kind of a East Coast on the ocean theme. Coming in here, we got East Coast big city, kind of themed it after Pittsburgh. The other half of Goat Rodeo Gaming is from Pittsburgh. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of do that. So we got a depiction of the East Coast Railways right here. Various different railways. Old car shop. Old roundhouse. Old yard. Got a work train right here. Sorry if I'm jumping around too quickly. I just don't want to waste your time too much. Got a bunch of steel mills that are interactive. Another one right here. You can deliver coal to, pick up steel. Another one right here. Got ourselves a coal power plant, I should say, to drop off coal. Little switching yard, and we got a lot of little branch lines that come off into the town itself to different industries, lumber, goods house, more goods, cement. You can take a big heavy cement train from the desert to here and unload it. Come across the river back to the yard. And over here we got a container station. It's gonna run intermodal. Then we got a downtown with my guy. So what I'm gonna do is we'll jump on this train, and I want to see how quickly the air recovers. Got a light set on it right now. In real life, this is about a mile-long coal train. It's empty, but in real life, it would take, I don't know. It's hard to say. Every train's different, but it would take more than, I don't know, maybe a minute to recover. It's hard to say, but what I'm looking for is just how quickly it is. If it's reasonable, every train's different. It can recover quick, it can recover very slow. So let's see. So we're gonna knock these off. Be watching over here. So let's see. It's already up to 90. That took less than 10 seconds. Okay. That is not realistic. It would take a lot longer than that, because when you release the air, it just dumps everything. And then these locomotives got to pump it back up with the generator and their air compressor. So it would take more time. So the brakes might come off, but getting it back up to 90 on the rear and on the head end, it takes some time. So that's why on a place like the Cone Pass, engineers aren't picking off the brakes and then resetting them over and over and over again to keep up the speed going all the way down, because it doesn't recover quick enough. So, well, I think we put it through the basic motions and things I liked. Dynamics definitely worked. They seemed reasonable. Another thing I liked, physics going upgrade seemed alright when it comes to locomotives versus weight, horsepower versus weight. Oh, what's another thing I liked? The slack. Did have some slack, very minimal. We had the slack when it comes to the train stretching out, I thought was pretty good. So if you're starting on a grade or you're starting on flat ground like this, I think that is within the ballpark of being realistic. However, we didn't have slack coming in the other way, which is not realistic. As much slack goes out must come back in if you stop with dynamics. Things I didn't like. It seems like you can't derail the trains unless you're going around maybe a very sharp curve at speed. Now, the independent test that we did at the beginning should have derailed it. No problem. We should have had some major run-in when it came to when we did the dynamic brake. Nothing happened. So those things are big red flags for me. I would probably give this game a D plus, maybe a C minus for realism. It had some things, but didn't have others. I'd say 30% cool, 70% not cool, not realistic. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this game and this review. And yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, man. Help us out. This channel, we're trying to grow it, and you know, we're gonna put out good content. So, if you have any recommendations of other games that I should review, please comment, let me know. Make sure to check out our Train Simulator 2022 review, where I put it through these same tests, so you can see the difference, what game might be more realistic or not. So, till next time, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see ya.